We in there. Shalom, shalom. Giving all honor and praises to the Most High Yah and Son Yahweh Shah. The name of the class is called Vainglory Spirits. Seeing a lot of things in Israel, a lot of doctrines coming out, a lot of puffed up leaderships, a lot of brothers that can't take correction, man. Or sisters too. They can't take correction, can't hold their spirit. Because the vainglory spirit covers a multitude of spirits. It's not just thinking somebody being like, oh, I want to be a show out. Vainglory covers covetousness, covers double-minded. It covers a lot of things, and we're gonna go into it, man, with the precept, man. First precept we're gonna pull today, Philippians chapter 2 and verse 3. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 3. Start at verse 2. 2 and 2. Keep my joy. Get that, read it out.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 2. Fulfill ye my joy.
It said, fulfill ye my joy. Read.
Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love.
Having the same love. What's having the same love? Keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments. That's how we have the same love. Because if you love the Most High, you'll love your brother. If you love the Most High, you'll love Christ. If you love the Most High, you wouldn't have a vainglory spirit, or you wouldn't have a covetous spirit, or you wouldn't have a selfish spirit, want to be seen spirit. Because a lot of times brothers do things out of want to be seen anyway. We don't know.
Being of one accord, of one mind.
Of one mind, read it.
Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory.
He said, let nothing be done. This is our walk, our everyday walk. He said, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. Because when we're dealing with our brothers and sisters, and when we gather with our brothers and sisters, a lot of times we'll do things, because we do things we don't want to do them. That's what we need to be. If we do something for somebody, do it out of love, man. Do it out of charity. If you're going to do it, don't be puffed up and be mad about it because you got to do something for somebody, man. And that person ain't got to be the same person that pay you back just because you did it for them. Said, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, man. Read.
But in lowliness of mind, that each esteem others better than themselves.
Because that's what you got to esteem each other better than yourselves, man. If you know you got something, you going through something, you know a brother or sister wish to try to help you, and that brother and sister just, well, I'll help you this time. Yeah. You might not get another chance to help nobody because you might be in that same state. We got to get our mindset on these vainglory spirits, because sometimes brothers and sisters be dealing in this spirit and they not even know the spirit is on them. Our wives, our children, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers. We see people walking in the vainglory spirit all the time. But sometimes people, they don't try to shake these spirits. What they do, they let these spirits manifest. And then when you let these spirits manifest, you add sin to sin. We don't
look not every man on his own things.
Read.
But every man also on the things of others.
Read.
Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ.
He said, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ, man.
Read verse 4 again, right? Put it out.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you get it. Read verse 4 again out.
Verse 4, look not every man on his own thing.
It says, look not every man on his own things. Continue to constantly be worried about yourself. You know, because as we put the nation back together, guess what? That endures us thinking about others more than you think about yourself. Because that's one thing that we have been taught in Israel is how to think about our nation. We have been taught to only think about ourselves. Well, if I'm good, then everything else is good. But no, because that's the epitome of keeping Leviticus 19 verse 7. Loving your brother as you love yourself. Loving your sister as you love yourself. Read on up.
Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
On the things of others. Caring about your brother and sister almost more than you care about your own self. Because we know a lot of times sisters, brothers, our people still got certain spirits that they got to shake when they come into the truth. And this thing is a process. So we want to make sure that we do take the time to help brothers and sisters build on certain things. You know, we know some of the harder things is left for leadership, but you want to also make sure that you are taking the time to love your brother as you love your sister, love your and vice versa, so forth. Go ahead.
And just like what he was breaking down, verse 5 explains it even more better. Read.
Verse 5, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ.
Because Christ had that mindset that he didn't think just upon himself, he thought about the nation. And we get our mindset to think about the nation, back thinking about our nation again, how much more further ahead can we be? Or how much more closer to the kingdom can we be when we start thinking about a nation? Instead of thinking about ourselves. This is a mindset that, if you notice, when you're looking at these classes, there are a lot of brothers and sisters, a lot of brothers bringing out. Brothers bring classes to build brothers and sisters' spirits up, to give brothers and sisters mind changing from being out of the world to walking in His truth. These are all mind building classes to looking towards the kingdom, man.
Right.
Because this is how Christ looked at our nation. He didn't. Because let's think about Christ. I'm just come back to myself. We wouldn't have grace. If you see a homosexual walking down the street, he would be dead. Brothers and sisters that commit adultery, they would be dead. Brothers and sisters out there fornicating, they would be dead. These things, the things that laws that was there for you, that would be for you to be put to death, you'll be put to death. If it wasn't for grace that saved us, grace is giving us an opportunity to get this thing right so we can repent to make it to the kingdom. These are the things that Christ came back for because he was thinking about a nation and not just himself.
That's right. Let me get a precept right quick. Give me 1 Corinthians 13:5. Because that's the whole point. That's the mindset that Christ is trying to put us in the spirit of. Thinking as a nation of people. Because like we said, we can't go back, Lord's will, without the 12 tribes or without the 10 tribes. Or without the southern or the northern tribe. You know, the Lord's will who's ever sealed in that day. Read this for me, Officer Yard.
1 Corinthians 13:5. Does not behave yourself unseemly.
Jump up to verse 4, get the context.
Verse 4, charity suffereth long.
So the context is charity. We know charity is a Greek word which means love. Read on up.
And is kind.
And is what?
Kind.
Read on up.
Charity envieth not.
So charity envieth not. Read on up.
Charity vaunteth not itself.
And is what?
Is not puffed up.
And guess what? When you have the true love of the Bible, guess what? You won't be puffed up in things, man. Read on up.
Does not behave itself unseemly.
And you won't behave yourself unseemly. Read on up.
Nor her own. Seeketh not her own.
Seeketh not her own. Read on up.
Is not easily provoked.
Read that part again.
Is not easily provoked.
So when brothers and sisters are dealing in the spirit of charity and the spirit of love, they won't be easily provoked. Because guess what? Like we say, brothers bring out these classes to show people on how to identify certain spirits. And guess what? Avoid that. You know, people out of the spirit, shalom sis, shalom brother, keep it moving. But don't let it get you out of the spirit. That's the whole point. Read on up.
Thinketh no evil.
Hold up. He said, thinking no evil.
Right.
Thinking when you working in charity, you ain't thinking evil. Guess what? When you apply Matthew 18-15, when somebody is offending you. But if you're not offended, you don't have to apply Matthew 18-15. Even if they did something wrong, you don't have to apply Matthew 18-15 if you don't offend you. Because guess what? If you knew the love of the Most High and the love of Christ, that's a lot of times you be like, okay, I know that brother did this thing, that brother tripped out. But guess what? You say in your mind, you praying for that brother because they got to deal with the Lord now.
They do. They do, man. That thing is heavy right there because like I was saying, you want to make sure that you stand in good standards with the Most High God, man. So you don't want to let those certain spirits get you out of character because guess what? Each and every one of us got an angel that's watching over us. Well, I put that test in front of that brother to see how he was going to handle the situation. I hope they flunked that. Or I put that test in front of the sister to see how she was going to react. They flunked that. So you want to make sure, even when people are not in the spirit, that you make sure that you in the spirit.
Because guess what? That's what a lot of times, that's what vainglory spirit comes from. People, they see people and different stuff. It goes from a covetous spirit. Matter of fact, go to Proverbs 21. Before I get into it, go to Proverbs 21, 26 right here. Going to the covetous spirit. So that's what a lot of times covetous spirit, seeing what other brothers got, think, oh, I know I'm better than him. I know I'm better than her. I know she can't have it and I ain't got that. Come on, man. That's a covetous spirit that's on people, man. Read that out when you get there. Yeah, 21, 26.
Proverbs 21 and 26. He coveted greedily all the day long, but the righteous giveth and spares not.
He said he covered it greedily all the day long. Man, jump up, no, read on.
Verse 27. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination.
He said the sacrifices of the wicked is abomination, man. Read.
How much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind?
See, because that's going into the same thing what 1 Corinthians 13 and 5 said. They had no evil thought. But when you're in that covetous spirit, you greed it all day long. And also it comes down to a wicked mind. It ends into a wicked mind. Now you thinking about, dang man, brother and sister, they got this, I ain't got that. That's a covetous spirit that go into the same thing as a vainglorious spirit, man. Let's go to Surah chapter 14 and 9, precept. Surah 14 and 9. Surah 14 and 9.
Surah chapter 14 verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion.
He said a covetous man's eyes is never satisfied with his portion. This ain't enough. No matter how much the Most High bless it with, it ain't enough. It's just not enough. You got to have what somebody else got. Somebody else got, man.
And we know whose spirit really is this talking about. Whose spirit is it? Who got a covetous spirit which they can never have enough?
Esau.
Who? Esau. You got a precept which can never have enough. What you got to do, y'all?
Come on with it, man. Y'all know it? What's good? Nah.
Give me That's that spirit that Esau had on it. I know brothers and sisters don't want that spirit on them, man. Because we know what Esau's, what his judgment is for that thing. Now it's like Obadiah. It's a lot of brothers and sisters, Obadiah. Start at verse 5.
Obadiah verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off?
How thou what?
How art thou cut off?
Because when a robber come and steal things out of your house, a lot of times they ain't gonna steal the whole house. They gonna get some things and get what they want and then get up out of there. But with Esau, guess what? He gonna steal that, take everything, come back, and he gonna steal you as well too. Read on now.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grape? How are these things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
It says, how are his hidden things sought up? Because Esau, he wanted all. Like I say, even going back to Surah chapter 14, verse 9, he has that covetous spirit.
And guess what? And we envy our oppressors, so a lot of us got covered spirit too. We get that from the oppressor. Same spirit that they took on, that they had dominion over them. When we relish in that thing have dominion over us. Go back to Surah chapter 14.
The precept of that Obadiah 1:5 is Jeremiah 49:9.
The precept of Jeremiah 49:9. Go back to Surah chapter 14, verse 9.
Surah 14:9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drives up his soul.
Read on.
A wicked eye envious his grace, and he is a niggard at his table.
And he is a nigger at his table. That's a nigger spirit on you, man. Coveted nigger spirit on you, man. You have to shake these things. Psalm chapter 10, verse 3. Feel how the Most High feel about these things. Because it goes, like I say, it goes one into the same, man. When you got that spirit on you, man. It's all about you. Vainglory is all about you. And what I want. I got to have it. It goes into a thief, a murderer. These things that the vainglory spirit covers, man. Because it's all about me and what I want. There's a lot of people that's in the penitentiary because they was in their feelings at one certain time. Then the streets look at him like, man, oh man, he a killer. Yeah, he was a killer for 30 seconds. But he finna spend 30 years of the rest of his life in the penitentiary. But is he in the penitentiary a killer in the penitentiary? No. He was probably one of the quietest people in there. Read it out.
Psalm chapter 10, verse 3.
Go to my bad. Come up verse 2.
Psalm 10:2. The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor.
Because the wicked do persecute the poor, man. Read.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
Read on.
For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire.
Because the wicked do boast of his heart desires, man. Goes into the same spirit. Read.
And blessed the covetous woman of the covetous whom the Lord abhors.
He said that these wicked spirits that they even sucks into they even get pulled by these people that have these covetous spirits. They pull them into the spirit. Same thing I was trying to bring out earlier today. How these spirits sometimes they'll pull you into these things. And the Most High, he said, the Most High abhor these spirits. I mean, he hate these spirits, man. Even a person celebrating birthdays, he hate that thing, man. You celebrating Christmas, he hate that thing, man. These right here, you take upon yourself, now you all about me. And the vainglory spirit, all these things one and the same, idol worship. These things go one and the same because you put me over the Most High. And when you put me over the Most High, that's what you get. You get a spirit on you. And these spirits have titles. Whether they be vainglory, whether they be idol worship. Let's go to James chapter 3 and verse 13. James chapter 3 and verse 13. These spirits be one and the same, man. A lot of times these spirits be on brothers and sisters. We should be able to discern these spirits because when we see these spirits on brothers or sisters, we be like, man, that brother got a vainglory spirit on him. They all about themselves. When you ain't thinking about a nation, when you ain't thinking about building as a nation, when you ain't thinking about growing as a nation, you have a vainglory spirit on you. Every time you think about I ain't. There's a lot of people ain't gonna do what you do. There's a lot of people that's not gonna have the opportunities you have. Some people grace is way more than the next person. Some people think they can use much grace as they think they can use all the grace in the world and think ain't nothing gonna happen to them. But if we was of the Most High, we would be doing what the Most High tell us to do, man. James chapter 3 and verse 13.
James chapter 3 verse 13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge?
He said, who is a wise man and got knowledge among you, man? Read on.
Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom.
He said he got to show his works with meekness of wisdom. Because a lot of times, brothers, when they get a little knowledge on them, they get puffed up, man. Brothers get puffed up, and you see them leave. You see brothers get puffed up, and guess what? Now brothers get puffed up. now that makes you, I don't want to go to high holy day, or I don't want to miss the Sabbath, or you start ruling your house like a lion, or guess what, or a sister starts treating her husband bad. Most High give you a little something, and then all of a sudden now you change. But you don't change for the better, you change for the worse. You don't know.
Verse 14. But if ye have bitter envy and strife in your heart.
But if you got these things in your heart, if you got that old bottle that the Most High trying to fill up, He already gave you the new bottle. Sometimes people pull the old bottle back and say, Lord, fill this one up. And He don't want to fill that one up. He want to fill the new one up He gave you. Read.
But if ye have bitter envy and strife in your heart.
Read.
Glory not.
He said, do what?
Glory not.
He said, if you got these things in your heart, glory not, man. Read.
And lie not against the truth.
Don't lie against the truth, man. If you're going to do anything, don't lie against the truth, because a lot of people will do that, man. When you got these things, the Most High give us a little increase of knowledge. Some people get this truth, and then all of a sudden you go just pull out a doctrine from somewhere.
And they said, go ahead.
They just get the line against the truth. These are things that our mind said we have to change these things, but the growth that the Most High give you, these are good growth that He give us. But if we walking in the spirit that the Most High give us, are we still the same person that the Most High build us up to be? These are things we have to change. We have to get our mindset for it.
And that last part, like I said, is lie not against the truth, because 9 times out of 10, it ain't just one person that can see that certain spirit on you. It's 2 or 3 witnesses, man. If you got 2 or 3 brothers or 2 or 3 sisters that's seeing the same spirit, 9 times out of 10, that's that spirit, man. So you can't lie and say that you're not dealing in that spirit, man. Like we tell brothers and sisters, man, take the correction and move forward, man. This is something that brothers and sisters got to learn to grow in. We have to learn to grow in correction. That's why I had to take correction that, guess what, I had to learn to take. And guess what? When you take that correction, most I love that thing, man. Use it to grow. Don't use it to be a burden or to feel sorry about yourself. Use it as a stepping stone to get to the next level, man. Go ahead,
and that's what it's all about. To use your correction to grow. That's what the thing is. That's why you got laws like Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17. We correct each other is for our growth. That's because if you love me, you're supposed to correct me when I'm out. If you don't love me, if I'm not getting corrected. That's why the Lord said, who I love it, I chastise. But if He ain't chastised me, then, hey man, hey Lord, I think I need a little chastising. I don't know if you forgot about me, so I give you a lot of little stuff. You know, I want to see if you still love me. Okay, because the Bible say what it says. I want to be counted in that number, man. I know everybody else do too. We got to make sure that our growth level is keep growing, man. No looking back like Lot's wife, man. We don't want to be that pillar of salt, man. We want to be that light that's gonna shine for the nation, man. That the Most High can use us, man. We want to be the vessel that the Most High use. Why won't you open your heart and your body for the Most High to use you, man? You should want Him to use you. I want the Lord to use me up, man. Use me until they say use me till you use me up, man. Use me up, man. For real. Read on up.
Verse 15. This wisdom descended not from above, but is earth sent devilish.
Because when you are in a bitter, envious strife, this come from the earth, man. This didn't come from the Most High, man. The Most High didn't give us these wicked ass spirits on us. We chose to have that thing because we wanted what the other nations wanted, man. We was given the laws. He didn't give it to nobody else. He gave this thing to us, but we wanted what they wanted. We want their God. We want their Christmas. We want their birthdays. We want their blonde hair. We want to do what they want, man.
That last part, like you say, but it's earthly, sensual. Sensual is going into emotional. A lot of times, brothers and sisters make decisions based off of emotions. Our decisions should be based off of what? The laws of God. We have emotions, but the Bible teaches us to keep those things in check, and when it's going against the law, bring out the law. Don't bring out your emotions, what I believe, what I feel. Let's just hear it straight from the scriptures. And that'll stop a lot of things that go on amongst congregations and amongst the nation of Israel.
And guess what also else? In your marriages. this right here, if you govern your marriage by this, you'll have a perfect marriage. If you raise your children by this, your children will be flawless growing up. If you govern yourself by this, you'll have a perfect life. This Bible is set up for us to have a perfect life. I don't know if brothers and sisters knew this, but this Bible is set up for us to have a perfect life. And for us to have that perfect life, we must live in this thing and walk in this thing. Read verse 16 out.
Verse 16. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work.
He said, where envy and strife is, there's confusion. When people have that spirit on them, any spirit that's not of the Most High, whether it's vainglory, or strife, it's envy, it's covetous spirit, it's always going to be some confusion there. It's always going to be confusion. But are we going to be the ones that play into the confusion, or are you going to let the confusion walk on by you? This is something that we should be thinking about. Especially, I know brothers like here, I know I'm talking to the people that's online, I know we've been fasting every Tuesday as a congregation. It's not mandatory, but we've been fasting like this. But that's to strengthen brothers and sisters up. But the thing is, these should be one of the things that you're praying about. If you're going through things and you fast, you're going through things, you should be praying when you fasting on these things that you're going through. Why would you fast? What you fasting for no purpose? You fasting for no reason? You should be fasting to grow in your spirit.
That's right.
Fasting to strengthen up things that you need to work on. If I'm struggling with being a whoremonger, guess what? If I'm fasting, then I need to be praying for this. If I'm struggling with smoking, then I need to be fasting and praying for this.
Right.
These are the things that the Most High, He hears those things because we putting things in order. We congregating, we fasting, we praying, keeping our holy days, we letting our light shine before men. Guess what, man? We want the Most High here. When we pray to the Most High, your prayers you should be wanting to get your prayers heard by the Most High. And if you're not praying to try to get your prayers heard by the Most High, who you talking to? Or who you praying to if you ain't trying to get the Most High to give you? I hope, when I pray, that's why I try to make sure, you got to make sure you're praying the right prayer. Because some of these people, they be praying for their husband to drop dead or their wife to drop dead. You got to be careful. I'm serious. And guess what, brothers and sisters know that they do that too. Because at this point, you might get mad, I can't stand this ugly ass bastard, such and such, this mother need to do such and such. And guess what happened? Such and such be in the kitchen, trying to help you. You on one of y'all good day, he helping you wash dishes. Now you got a heart attack on the floor, and you just don't know you the one that just prayed for that. Gotta get our mind state ready for it. But guess what? You thinking you hurt like a mother, and guess what? He called the glory, and the Most High just giving him some rest. Gotta get our mind in touch, man. Romans chapter 2, verse 11. Get our mind state ready for the kingdom, man. When we see ourselves working in these spirits, we must be fasting, praying, girding our loins up, man. What does it say? Women, gird your skirts up. I like it. Gird your skirts up. Romans chapter 2, verse 11.
Romans chapter 2, verse 11. For there is no respect of persons with God.
He said there's no respect of persons with the Most High God. He don't respect. Guess what? When he come to judge, it ain't no respect of persons with that, man. Young or old, he ain't got no respect of persons. When he come, guess what? What it is what it is. It ain't no game to be played. Read.
Verse 12, for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law.
So guess what? Many people that think that, guess what? There's a lot of people that sin without the law. Yeah, but the law was already here for us. You ain't got to accept it. There's going to be a lot of people that sin without the law. Oh, we ain't got to have that law. There's going to be a lot of people right now that don't think they're supposed to have it. There's going to be a lot of people perish without it. There's going to be a lot of people perish. Because they got lack of knowledge. They ain't giving themselves no opportunity or nothing. They just want to go to the lake of fire like a murderer.
Because even in this, he's quoting something. Let me get that precept right quick in the law. Give me Leviticus chapter 19, verse 15. Because Paul is always quoting from the law.
Always.
Always quoting from the law. Because we can't have respect for persons. If brother's in leadership, brother not in leadership. And vice versa. Read this off to y'all.
Leviticus 19 and 15. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
And what?
In judgment.
So when the judgment must go down, no matter how high ranking they are, guess what? The judgment got the law where the laws fall. Read on up.
Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor.
Just because a brother or a sister don't have a whole lot of money, guess what? It don't mean we can take it easy on them when they break the law. Read on up.
Nor honor the person of the mighty.
Or with a brother that does have a lot of money, contribute a lot to the bill, and just when he get out of line, guess what? We ain't gonna pity him either. We got to bring thus said the law, especially when he out of order or when she is out of order. Read on up.
But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
But in righteousness thou shalt judge thy neighbor. Brother Stephen, what is righteousness according to the Bible? Oh, praise. Go ahead.
Going on this. Let's go back to Romans chapter 2. Verse 12 again.
Romans 2 and 12. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law.
Read.
And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law.
And many that sin in the law gonna be judged by the law. Read.
For not the hearers of the law are just before God.
Not the hearers of the law are just before God. Read.
But the doers of the law shall be justified.
But the doers of the law is gonna be justified by the law.
Because guess what? That's a shot at Christian.
Come on, man.
Christianity pastors. Pat. And I'm going to pull my little 22 on them, man. Because guess what? That's the spirit that they dealing in, a vainglory spirit. We read the words out the Bible that we should keep the law. No, my brother, the laws is done away with. Then we break down and get an understanding on that, and they still can't see that thing. That's a vainglory and a prideful spirit to be in, man. And guess what? They going to die without the law,
They
man.
gonna die with it,
Jump
man.
back up to verse 12. They going to die without that thing, man. Either way it go. Go ahead,
Jump down to verse 16 now.
Verse 16. In the day when God shall judge the secrets of men.
He said, in the day that God shall judge the secrets of men. Read.
By Yahweh shall according to my gospel.
He said, according to this Bible, man. He's gonna be judging this according to this Bible, man. Read on up.
Behold, thou art called a Jew, and rested in the law, and maketh thy boast of God.
He said, there's called a Jew and rested in the law, and making a boast of God, man. Some people do make a boast of God. Matter of fact, let's go get that. Isaiah chapter 48, man. Isaiah chapter 48, and, verse 6, man. Gonna read down. A lot of people, they be rested in the law, but they don't understand what the law, what it brings, and the judgment that the law brings, man. Isaiah chapter 48, read it out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 6. Thou hast heard, see all this, and will not ye declare. I have shown thee new things from this time.
He said he has showed thee new things from this time, read.
Even hidden things, and thou didst not know them.
And thou didst not know them, because guess what? They didn't have a spiritual mindset, read.
They are created now, and not from the beginning.
They are created now, not from the beginning, because it's an evil work that's walking. Because from the beginning, these evil mindsets was not here. These are people that detest the law, man. That rested in the law. And there's some of even us that call ourselves the Jews. We even the ones that rested in the law, man. They got this evil mind state that we in right now. Read on, huh?
They are created now, and not from the beginning. Even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldest say, behold, I knew them.
At least you say, behold, I knew them, man. Read.
Yea, thou heardest not. Yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherous.
You see, because the Most High said, I knew you was going to deal very treacherous. These are the same people that rested in the law, man. The Most High said, I knew you was going to deal very treacherously. And some of our people, they still deal treacherously right now, dealing with the law. These Christian pastors, they deal treacherously with the law. Some of these so-called leaders, they deal treacherously with the law too. In Israel, sometimes people deal treacherously with the law. Guess what? Dealing with their wife. Sometimes people deal treacherously with the law when the husband dealing with their wife. I mean, and wife dealing with her husband. And guess what? The mother and father dealing with their children. The sister and brother dealing with each other. They deal treacherously, man. The Most High said, I knew you was gonna do this, man. We don't know.
And was called a transgressor from the womb.
It was called a transgressor from the womb. This is an Esau spirit, man. Because we know who Esau is, a transgressor from the womb. But some of our people come out, you see a little bitty boy or a little bitty girl, they be having this spirit on them, man. A little bitty girl sometimes, man, you see, man, look, sometimes these little bitty girls be having, they be just as mean as you want to say, hey, little baby girl, she be just as mean as she want to be. Say, hey, little baby boy, he just as mean as he want to be. Like, hey, little man, you all right? Chest bigger than mine. Hey, little man, he tough. That's the spirit that the Most High said He will have on us, man. Because a lot of times we get these from the other nations. We ain't getting them from the Most High. We seeing what they do. They getting away with it, and then we can do the same thing that they doing. Let's go back, man. Romans chapter 2, verse 18.
Romans chapter 2, verse 18. And knoweth his will, and approveth the things that are more excellent.
He said that knoweth his will, and approveth the things that's more excellent, man. Let's keep in these laws, man. Read.
Being instructed out of the law.
See, man, this is cut all day long, man. To these people that don't think that the only instruction that you're going to be getting is out of the law, man.
Right.
Read.
And art confident that thou thyself art a guide and of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness.
He said you are a guide of the blind. This is the same thing Christ was saying, man. Paul just quoted, matter of fact, man, let's go get it. Matthew 15:14 right quick. On your precept, Matthew 15:14. Christ said the same. This Paul just quoted what Christ said, man. Paul just saying the same thing Christ said, man. Get there, I'll read it, man.
Matthew 15 and 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind.
He said the same dang on thing, man. He said, let them alone. These be blind. He cutting the scribes and Pharisees up, man. He said these be blind leaders of the blind, man. Read.
And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
He said if both of them, nigga blind gonna lead the blind, both of them gonna fall into the ditch, man. Christ said that eating their lunch, man, the whole time, man, when he was on the scene, man. Because they talk like they know the law. They was boasters of the law, but they don't know the law, man. Even these blind guys right now that we have, these so-called TD snakes and cripple over, take all your dollars. They don't know the law. They don't know the Bible. They talk against the law and they talk against the Bible, man. Because they don't know Christ, man. They don't know the Most High. The only thing they know is how to feed their pockets, man. Go back to Romans chapter 2, man.
Romans chapter 2, verse 20. An instructor of the foolish. A teacher of babes.
He said a teacher of babes, man. Because it's easy to sway somebody. That's a teacher of a babe. You know, to the person that teaches babes, the people that's fresh into the truth, well, they can sway them people any way they want to sway them, man. They got you. Until you get built up. Until you making your law. Until you keeping the law in the high holy days and the Most High giving you the increase, then you start seeing something like, oh look, man, this brother, he keeping the law. What? These are blind leaders of the blind, man. That Paul was talking about right now, man. Same thing Christ was talking about, man.
And we want to make sure that brothers are staying in the spirit, even, well, because this go the other way. Brothers that's up and coming and teaching. Because, you know, we see it a lot of times. Brothers sometimes get puffed up because we done seen brothers that done left. You know, like we say, thinking they better than what they are. And a lot of times brothers ain't dealing in the right spirit. They trying to be seen what on YouTube? Trying to be seen on YouTube. See what brothers done did in the past, see the likes that brothers get, see the views that they get, they trying to emulate that. They don't have the nation as their best interest. They just trying to be seen. That's not the spirit that brothers should be dealing in. Each and every time when brothers get understanding of the scriptures and the Most High God allow us to be out there, allow you out there to teach, you should be thinking of the rebuilding up of our nation, man. Not how many views, not how many likes you gonna get on TV and so forth, YouTube, man. That's a vainglory spirit. Unlike any other, man, and God don't like that thing, man. For real, man.
Read on out.
Verse 20. Verse 20. An instructor of the fool, a teacher of babes, which has performed knowledge and of the truth in the law.
Read.
Thou, therefore, which teachest another.
He said, now, like I was bringing out, it said, thou that which teachest another. Read.
Teachest thou not thyself, that thou that preachest a man should not steal. Dost thou steal?
He said, you teach a man should not steal. Do you steal? That's that Matthew's, what's that, 7:1? Judge not, lest ye be judged. Read on up.
Thou that says a man should not commit adultery. Dost thou commit adultery?
He said, man, you said that a man should commit adultery. Do you do these things? Read.
Thou that abhorrest idols. Dost thou commit sacrilege?
He said, man, you avoid idols, man. Do you like idols? Do you worship these idols? Read.
Thou that makest thy boast of the law, who breaketh the law, dishonoreth thou God.
He said, man, thou that making a boast, man, of the law. He said, but do you break the law? Us as teachers of the law, we got a lawgivers. Do the people, like you say, the up and coming teachers, the ones that teach the law. Do you break these laws? Do you teach these laws?
Let me get a precept right quick. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6. Because even like I was going into with vainglory spirit, we want to make sure that we put in checks because, you know, when we come into the truth, man, it's a blessing to be woken up. You know, Most High giving you knowledge, man, and you want to share that thing, man. You know, like I said, I know each and every one of these brothers can remember they woken up just trying to teach everybody. You know, and that's a good thing. You know, we want to keep that humble spirit, but you don't want to take it to another level to where you trying to be at the pinnacle or trying to be seen more than trying to edify or be used with the Most High. Read this out.
1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6. And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sake, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another.
It says that you might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written. Because like we say, brothers are not more than the scriptures. The Most High God used us to bring out the scriptures. It says that no one of you be puffed up one against another. You know, we see that sometimes in Israel, you know, amongst the leaders. You know, that's a spirit that brothers got to constantly put in check, keep in check, because the Most High God is giving you a congregation. Brothers really do think it's them. No, it's the Most High that brings the increase. We're just vessels. That's it, man. So when brothers have a congregation of brothers and sisters, we didn't do that. The Most High God did that, man. And we should never think that we're better than the Most High, because that's the level that brothers is trying to put themselves on. I did this, brother. I did this. I gathered all these people to me. Me, brother, me. No, that's not the spirit to have, man. That's it. Go ahead,
Go to Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Like you say, that is definitely not the spirit to have. But when you have those boastful, that's pride on the brother, man. All these bring spirit on spirit, man.
Where's the glory of the Most High coming from that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's our whole duty, what we supposed to be doing. So if we said we did it, it's us, it's me, then you ain't giving the Most High no glory for you. You out of order for that.
You get there, I'll read it.
Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction.
It said pride goeth before destruction, man. That's when, like y'all bringing out, man. Like you say, man, the Most High bring the increase. It ain't because of us. It's because, guess what? The Most High brought the increase because we did the work, man. He said, you do the work, I'll bring the increase, man. But like I said, who gonna get the glory? It's the Most High gonna get the glory, or you gonna get the glory? Because I did this. I did this all by myself. I ain't know what the Most High do, man. We ain't do nothing.
Like I said, you gotta watch the brothers and sisters that always use that word I, and not we. You wanna make sure that you watching that, man. Watching that conversation, man.
You got a precept right there, man. Look at that. Show you what the Most High did. Deuteronomy 31:21. That thing goes through you will show you what he did. So what you gotta do? Let's see what he did. But you did it all.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 21. They have moved me to
So
jealousy.
the first thing you did was you pissed the Most High God off by having this vain glory spirit, being pride and puffed up. Read on.
With that which is not God.
With that which is not God, because idolatry all is going to having vanity. Oh, I did this. Oh, I believe this. Oh, I found a new doctrine that I did this. I want to show y'all what I did. Read on.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanity.
With their what?
With their vanity.
You have pissed the Most High God off with your vain thoughts, your vanity, man. The way we have carried ourselves. And what did he do?
And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
And that's captivity. Read on.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
So now, since you pissed him off, guess what? He gonna piss us off. And he done pissed us off great, man. I'm talking about we over here on the bottom, slummed out, man. People out here walking around, smelling like piss, looking like who got God knows what, man. So that's what the Most High God did. For you us want to be vain, that's why we got to get up out of our own thoughts and our vanity. Because we ain't doing nothing but pissing him off more and more. And this captivity, like you said, it's the worst one, man. It ain't gonna get no better until we come back as a nation of people and start doing I and do we. And the Most High God instead of I. That's all I got.
Just to prove our point about he gonna provoke us to jealousy, to anger. I'm mad because we gotta fight to take our book back.
Right.
I'm angry because people taking our book, saying it's everybody's book, lying on our book. We got people thinking the white man wrote the book, but that's because we pissed the Most High God off. That's one form of I'm angry because of that.
That's what I'm angry about. I'm angry because we got to fight and say we the Jews. We can't even say we the Jews of the Bible. Look at we can be Muslims.
It's okay.
We can be Catholics.
It's okay.
Christians.
Jehovah's Witness.
We can be Moors. We can be Africans. Why we can't be the Jews?
Right. So that should let you know that guess what? That this is the truth, man.
Right.
That point on that notion. One within itself, man. You could be any religion, but when you say you're an Israelite, boy, all hell gonna break loose.
Hell break loose, man. Look at take brothers' net shows away. Kick you off, oh man, you said they ain't the real Jews. No, he ain't said nothing about it. He said about us, about what we went through, and you didn't like it. They don't like. See, because when it's time to deal with something, people don't like to deal with those things, man. Go back to Proverbs 16, verse, what would be, 18? 18. Read it again,
Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction.
He said, pride do go before destruction, man. Read.
And a haughty spirit before it falls.
Now, these things right here, when you see somebody get working in pride, you see destruction come. When you see somebody working in a haughty spirit, you see it fall, man. These spirits, this is how the Most High is so beautiful because he teach you how to discern things. This is how discerning spirits, because it's showing you what's going to happen. If you see somebody in pride and they steal it and they ain't trying to repent, you're going to see the destruction. You're going to see somebody in a haughty, puffed up spirit, guess what? You're going to see them fall, man. Read on up.
19. Better it is to be of an humble spirit.
He says better to be a humble spirit, man. Read.
With the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud.
Because that's what, man. Look here. That's what we striving to be, man. I'd rather be with the humble spirit and the lowly than to divide them. Well, I'm gonna divide with these proud folks, man. I don't want nothing to do with y'all proud folks, man. Y'all want got that pride on y'all? Want nothing to do with you, man. I'm gonna be with the lowly, man. That's what Christ was, man. He was with the lowly and with the meek, man. I'm gonna go down to the bottom, man. Read on now.
20. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good. And whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he.
That's what we need to be. Lowly and the ones that trusted in the Lord. It said happy is he, man. 1 Peter 5 and 6, man. Just a precept. 1 Peter 5 and 6. Gonna get into this storyline in a minute, man. 1 Peter 5 and 6. Going to some, I always like to touch on some of our forefathers, man. See how they got down, man. See these different spirits. Because these give you the opportunity. The reason why I go into break down the storyline so people can see these different spirits. And then when these spirits come around you, you can be able to identify these spirits, man. Read that up.
1 Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God.
He said, humble yourself before the mighty hand of the Most High, man. Read.
That he may exalt you in due time.
That he gonna exalt you in due time. It didn't say yourself.
That's right.
It said he gonna exalt you in due time, man. That's what we need to be working on. That the Most High exalt us in due time, man. Like you said, when brothers and sisters, the brothers coming up, and the brothers finna start teaching, the Most High gonna exalt us in due time, man. Just give it a little time, man. When you get built up, man, the Most High know when you ready to go out there to do the work.
That's right.
He know when you ready to do the work, man. When he moves you up to an officer or to captain, the Most High know what he doing when he moves you up there. That spirit gonna be already on you, man. It's gonna be accepted, man. It's gonna be accepted in the leadership. It's gonna be accepted in the congregation, man. And then also, guess what? You got to walk in it, man. Just like when he build these sisters up, when the sisters start helping on the events, when the sisters start doing the Sabbath days, when the sisters doing these high holy days, man, they helping out. These sisters guess what? When it's due time, the Most High gonna make sure that these sisters be ready, man. They gonna be able to handle that situation. He ain't gonna like the Spirit Scripture say. He said, I'm not gonna put more on you than you can bear. So when he put you in a position, you can bear these things, man. It's okay. You ain't got to be afraid. He said he's gonna put more on you than you can bear. You can do it. Let's go to I want to get straight to it, man. In fact, we're gonna get straight to it, man. Let's go to 1 Samuel, man. We're gonna go into our brother, our beloved brother Saul and David, man. I like to touch on these things, man. Saul and David was pretty good. Saul was wicked. David was he had a little wickedness in him though. He repented for that thing though. He repented. And guess what? He seek the Most High 10 times more though. That's why we got the whole book of Psalms. How long it take you to read the book of Psalms? About 2 or 3 days? Some of y'all 2 or 3 weeks. Some of y'all 2 or 3 months. But that's him praying to the Most High, seeking the Most High, because he did wrong, and he's seeking the Most High 10 times more, man, to show how much he was. He said, man, the Most High said King David was a man after his own heart, man. Just imagine the Most High said this about you, saying, look, Shaya is a man after the Most High own heart. You know? Hispanics a man after the Most High own heart. Man, imagine he's saying this about you. Man, that's a beautiful thing, man. Go to 1 Samuel chapter 16, man. Yeah, we're going to start at verse 1 Samuel chapter 16. Because Saul was wicked as hell, man. The more you read these things, man, that man wasn't obedient to the Most High at all, man. The Most High told him to do something, and he didn't want to do it, man. Hey, Samuel told Saul, hey, Most High told you to do this. Saul said, I'm going to do this. He's the spirit that is all about me. That's the vain glory spirit that he had on. It's all about me. Well, if I just do this, no, the Lord said, just do this right here. And you ain't got, well, Lord, man, look here. On the Sabbath, Lord, you know what? I made sure everybody was fasting on the Sabbath. And the Lord would come back, well, who told you to do that? Who told you to tell everybody to fast on the Sabbath? No, just keep the commandments. That's all I told you to do. These things are simple. 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 21. Verse 21.
First Samuel 16, 21.
Now, hold up. Now, this is after the Most High told Samuel, the Most High told Saul to go kill all the Amalekites. Told him to kill the dogs, the cats, the rats, the roaches, kill everything. Told him to kill everything. But what he did, he took the spoils of everything. Then he tried to come back and try to give it to the Most High, wanting to give an offering to the Most High. And the Most High said, I ain't tell you to do that, man.
Right.
He said, but then I'm gonna take the kingdom from you. Then guess what? He took it from him and he gave it to. He put the spirit on David, man. So, but at this point, David didn't get his crown at this time, but he got the anointing on him at this time right now. Read this out.
First Samuel 16.
Matter of fact, jump up to verse 14. This will go into give you more understanding of what I was just saying.
16 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul,
Mm-hmm.
and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
See, because he didn't do what the Most High told him to do. So the spirit of the Most High departed from Saul, man. Read on.
And Saul's servant said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee.
Uh-huh.
Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on the harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hands, and thou shalt be well.
Now, look at it, just like we saying when even in his servants seen that, man, dang, Saul, you king, but we can see something on you, man. His servants can see that he had an evil spirit on him, man, because he didn't do what the Most High told him to do. And when he didn't do what the Most High told him to do, the evil spirit came upon him, man.
Even in verse
From God.
Yeah, for real, from God. Even in verse 16, did y'all catch that? It says, because this is going into the saying, y'all ever heard the saying, what is that saying? Good music soothes the savage beast. If I say it right, I know I probably butcher. But even within that, like we say, evil communications corrupt good manners. Guess what? Good communications make good manners.
Mm-hmm.
So even with the music that we listen to, some music, if it's of the Most High God, it can put you back into the spirit. Like this music did with Saul for a little bit of time.
Go ahead,
Boy, you ain't lying. For a little bit of time, man. Okay, jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse, and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep.
Because what Saul was trying to do, he was trying to call for somebody that knew how to play the music, man, that's gonna soothe his ears. Because the servant gave him instructions, say what he's supposed to do to get this spirit up off of him. Read on.
And Jesse took an ass laden with bread,
Mm-hmm.
and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul.
Read.
And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly.
Now he said David stood before Saul, and Saul loved him, man. So this at this point, now y'all keep this in y'all mind, man. So watch that. Saul wicked. I just go back, I just be rethinking, trying to reread this thing, man. You just see some out four fathers. That's why he said things are written 4 times, written for our learning. Because it's got the good things that we should do, but it's also got the bad things that we should not do. Read on.
And he loved him greatly,
Mm-hmm.
and he became his armor bearer.
And David became his arm bearer, man. Read.
And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight.
Because David found favor in his sight. Read on.
And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took him heart and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
Now David played the harp, and now Saul evil spirit went away, man. See, but we're gonna see how this thing played out, man. Go to chapter 17, man. We're gonna keep going. Verse 1.
Verse 1, chapter 17. Now the Philistines gathered together their army to battle and were gathered together at Shokah, which belonged to Judah, and pitched between Shokah and Azekah, in Abis-Damim. And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched by the battle of Elah, and set the battle in array against the Philistines.
Now this is our forefathers been getting ready in battle against the Philistines, man. But see, at this time right here, the Philistines they were big and bad, man. They were tough at this time too. So
Who are the Philistines? Anybody know? What race are they?
We don't know.
And the Philistines stood on a mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side.
Battle Axes on the right, Holy's on the left. We don't know.
And there was a valley between them. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath.
Oh, go big bag alive, man. And guess what, man? Our people scared of us too, boy. They just like us, man. We some chickens. We some chickens, man. But guess what, boy? We get the Ark of the Covenant back, I promise you. They can come on with it. We get your house shot back on the sea. They come on with it. But this thing right, he got a lot of sauce on this, but we don't know.
And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and his band.
What's it, about 9 foot something?
9'6".
9 foot 6.
5, 9 foot 6.
Woo, he taller than this ceiling, man. Boy, he come up in here, boy, everybody had to be with him, you scared, man. That's what. I wish, I look around, I wish one of these brothers at the table would be scared. That not be free.
And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass.
Drop down verse 9.
Verse 9. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall you be our servants and serve us.
Now this is Goliath talking that noise. He said, man, look at man, tell them come down and battle me. Pick somebody, man. If they go with me, then we'll be y'all servants, man. If they can't be with me, y'all gotta be our servants. He talking noise, man. Read on.
And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day.
Man, he said we don't respect the army of Israel right now, man. What y'all gonna do about it? We got big bag alive over here. We wish one of y'all niggas would. We gonna tear y'all butts up, man. That's how they was talking, man. They big and bad. They tough. We don't.
Give me a man that we may fight together.
He said, give me anybody, man. We gonna fight, man. He tried to punk us out, man. We don't.
When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid.
They was afraid of this man. He standing 9 foot 6. He wishes nigga would. He literally wishes nigga would.
Wish Israel would.
He been tell us something, man. That's how you feeling, man. We look at them all. That's how you feel. We don't.
Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul.
Read.
And these 3 elder sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle.
Now they followed Saul to the battle. The 3 elder sons. Read.
And the names of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next to him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the 3 elders followed Saul.
And he said David was the youngest, and 3 elders followed Saul. Jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19.
Hold up. No, keep reading. Yeah.
Verse 15. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And the Philistine drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days. He
said the Philistines drew near morning and evening, and they kicked some butt morning and evening, man. They presented themselves. They mean they came down and kicked our butt 40 days, man. They presented themselves. What do you think they would say? Hey friends, how y'all doing? No. They was down there, man. They were down there stressing and oppressing us, man. Jump down to verse 19.
19. Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah fighting with the Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle.
Now this David, man, I'm talking about that. I got a heart of a lion in him, man. Like, man, look here, I'm tired of this, man. Man, look here. He's telling the keeper, hey, man, keep these sheep back here, man. I'm gonna go down here today, man. We gonna have to check this thing out, man. This dude doing a little too much, man. He a little too puffed up, man. Read on.
21. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army.
Army against army, man. Read.
And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brother.
And now David came down, he saluted the brother and said, man, what's up, bro? The bro was looking at him like, what's up, little man? Read on.
And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them.
Now, he came on here talking that noise. Same thing. He's saying the same thing. Hey, man, one of y'all come down here and fight me, man. Y'all come down and fight me, we'll serve y'all, man. He come down talking the same noise, but watch what David say to him, man. See, David, man, from the youth, man. He was a king, man. Read on up.
And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid.
Now, yeah, all the men, they seen him, they ran from him, man. Read on up.
And the men of Israel said, have you seen this man that has come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come. Defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel.
Now he telling them, he said, man, whoever killed this man, the king said, I even give you my daughter, man. Said, man, somebody got to do something about this man, man. Read on.
And David spake to the men that stood by him.
Now this David speaking to the soldiers, man. Read on.
What shall be done to the man that killeth the Philistines, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine?
Man, he said, who is this uncircumcised? Man, who is this person, man, that the Most High ain't even dealing with, man? Who is this person, man? Read.
That he should defy the army of the living God.
Man, he said, man, who's this person going to defy the army of the living God, man? This is how King David talks. He's talking to the soldiers like this. And these are people that are supposed to be defending Israel, man. And David come up, he's a sheep keeper, and he's talking to them like this, man. He letting them know the Most High was on his side, man. The Most High is dealing with us, man. We got the army of the living God, man. And y'all let these people right here talk like this? Because when they was in fear, what were they in? In sin. Because he had them in fear, he had them in sin. So he can keep us in sin, yeah, they're going to kick our butts because we was in sin.
That's right.
Jump down to verse 32.
32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him.
He said, let no man's heart be fail because of Goliath, man. Read.
Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine.
He said, man, I'm going to go and fight this man, man. Don't worry about it, man. I'm going to go down and fight this man, man. I know everybody in the camp looking at David, man. He's like, what the hell is this man talking about, man? David was a king, man. He was born this way, man. That's why we try to tell you even about leadership and how you grow. We can see it in brothers, but guess what? You got a whole bunch of changing to do because one thing about it, when you're in leadership, you can't turn this thing off, man. You dealing with your wives, you can't turn it off. You dealing with the congregation, you can't turn it off. You dealing with the people out in the street, you can't turn it off. This is the thing that you got to grow from and you got to be in you, and you cannot turn these things off, man. David had that fire in him, man. The Most High had lit that fire in him. You can't turn that thing off, man.
And the thing is, when you see brothers and sisters out in the spirit, what do? They turn it off.
They turned it off, man.
They straight turn it off.
Real. Read on up.
33. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, but thou art but a youth.
He said, you ain't no but a little young man, man. Read.
And he a man of war from his youth.
And he said, and this man is a man of war from his youth, man. Man, David finna lay the track record down. He said, man, this nigga must don't know who the hell he's talking to, man. Read on.
And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. And there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock.
He said, man, look here, man, I was sitting up here keeping my daddy's sheep over here. And then a lion and a bear came out. You know, that's on a deeper spiritual side. The lion and the bear. What was that? These brothers get that. He said the lion and the bear took the sheep. Y'all remember Daniel? Let me tell you a little bit. Yeah, brother, sister, you gotta catch that, huh? Y'all call it? Yeah. Y'all catch it? Who is it then? Yeah, who's the lion and the bear? No.
Is it Russia and
The lion and the bear.
Russia, Spain.
Persian meat is the bird.
And the lion was the Babylonian.
Yep. Going into the same thing. It's on a deeper level. So you gotta catch that thing. King David said he shoot the lion and the bear, man. You gotta catch it. We don't know.
And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against the Philistines to fight with them, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from you. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them.
You gotta read
Boy,
that
for real, boy. You gotta read that strong and hard, man.
Uncircumcised.
Read it up.
36. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them. Seeing he has defied the armies of the living God.
He said, man, how I slew that lion and bear, that's how I'm gonna do this Philistine, man. He defied the army of the living God, man. Man, look here, man. That's why we say, when we talk about our God, man, you better put some respect on his name, man.
Let's hit the precept real quick so brothers can have it in their arsenal, man. Give me Surah chapter 47 real quick.
Real quick,
man. Read verse 2 out.
Rock 47 and 2. As is the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel.
Read on out.
He played with lions as with kids.
He did what? Read that again.
He played with lions as with kids.
We know that a kid is a goat. Read it on out.
And with bears as with lambs.
So he played, as he handled a bird, guess what? He was handling a bird just like he did a little lamb. Read on out.
Slew he not a giant?
Read that again up.
Slew he not a giant?
Read on up.
When he was yet but young? And did he not take away reproach from the people? When he lifted up his hand from the stone and the flint, and beat down the boasting of the lion.
And beat down the boasting of who?
The lion.
Go back.
Go ahead, man. See, look, that's what I'm talking about. I'm telling the story, huh?
I'm trying to get you know how we get when we read David and Goliath.
That was tough, man.
But that's a precept for brothers when we out there on the streets, man. Y'all right there, interchangeable.
That's right.
You don't know.
Verse 37. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with you.
He said, man, go and let the Lord be with you, man. Read on.
And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his arm, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it.
He said, he had this armor that the king gave him, King Saul gave him, and he said, man, this ain't gonna work, man. He said, this is not gonna work, man. Read on.
And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with thee, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him.
So David took all his armor off of him, man. Read on.
And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of his book, and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine.
And he drew near to the Philistine with 5 rocks, man. 5 of them. Smooth. They did smooth, man. Bro.
And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David. And the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him. For he was but a youth and ruddy and a fair countenance.
Now he looking now Goliath looking at David like, who is this little? Is this what y'all sitting down here to fight me? This little worm? That's how he probably was talking. I'm just ad-libbing now.
And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his God.
Now he said, man, what you gonna do with that little stuff you got? You think I'm a dog or something? You think you can just knock me across the head and I'm gonna run away or something?
And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field.
Now he said, man, come on over here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and kill you right quick, man. Let these birds eat you up.
Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts.
Now he said he came to him in the name of the Lord of the hosts, man. No vainglory in him whatsoever, man. He put the Most High forward, and he ready to fight that battle, man. And this is how we supposed to be in our walk. You put the Most High forward, now I'm ready to go.
And guess what? That's how we win by doing it that way, man.
Win, man. Put the Most High forward, man. It's time to go to war now. Read on.
When I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied, this day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand.
He said, this day the Lord finna deliver you into my hand, man. Read on.
And I will smite thee and take thy head from thee. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel.
See, he never gave the glory to himself, man. He's giving the glory to the Most High God in Israel, man. That's what a king's supposed to be. That's what a leader's supposed to do. When we say giving all honor and praise to the Most High, we give all honor and praise to the Most High, man. And the glory. And the power. We got to give it to the Most High because he's the one that's going to fight our fight. That's why we got to hold our peace. That's why we got to get our vainglory self about the way and let the Most High fight for us, man. Because when we say I and we and my might and I, the words of the Most High getting the glory. That's like a man wanting his wife to follow him so bad. But if she ain't gonna follow the Most High, she ain't gonna follow you. She got to follow the Most High. Both y'all follow the Most High so the Most High can get the glory.
That's right.
She can't follow you and she don't know how to follow the Most High. She ain't listen to the Father. How she gonna listen to the Son? Right?
47. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear.
Say the Lord saveth not. Read that over again, man. Because some of these brothers think that these things we gonna go to war and we gonna have these weapons and we gonna come out. We gonna shoot the nations up, man. Read that over again,
And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord.
He said the Lord saveth not with swords and spears, man. Why you think Christ said I'm gonna come back and meet you as a God, man? You think he gonna have some swords and spears come out here and get y'all with some swords and spears? Or he gonna start speaking these words out of his mouth and gonna be killing things, man. Read that again,
And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear.
Lord don't save with sword and spear. Read.
For the battle is the Lord.
The battle is the Most High, man. Read.
And he will give you into our hands.
And he gonna give you into our hands, man. Read.
And it came to pass, when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine.
Read.
And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead.
Now he took a little one of these smooth rocks Well, that's a deeper breakdown too. Read. And smote him in the head. Read.
And slain and smote the Philistine in his forehead,
Mm-hmm.
that the stone sunk into his forehead.
And it sunk into his head, man. Read.
And he fell upon his face to the earth.
Read on.
So David prevailed over the Philistines with a sling and with a stone.
He said he prevailed with a sling and a stone, man. Read.
And smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David.
There was no sword in the hand of David, man. Like he said that the Most High was going to do, man. Read.
Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword.
And then now he took Goliath's sword, read,
And drew it out of the sheath thereof.
and took it out his sheath, man. Read on.
And slew him. And cut off his head therewith.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Philistines saw that the champion was dead, they fled.
So when they seen they champion dead, now it's time y'all to run now. Now it's time y'all to run now. Now y'all seen ours fall. Now we watch ours fall now. Jump down to verse 54, man. 54.
And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem.
Mhm.
But he put his armor in his tent.
Now he put the arm in the tent, but he took the head with him. Read on.
And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistines,
Uh-huh.
he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, As thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell.
Mm-hmm. Y'all kissed it, didn't you? Huh? Read it again.
And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistines,
Mhm.
he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, As thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell.
Now, wasn't David Saul's armor bearer? But now you don't know him now.
Right.
That's how wicked. You see how wicked he is? I'm sorry, that dude wicked as hell, man.
Uh,
He was just your arm bearer. Now I would say you don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Play-
everything.
and got the spirit off of you and everything. Now you don't know him. After he done told you the story about how he done slew lions and bears, how he's the Most High to deliver this dude, and how he's gonna beat him. Now all of a sudden you don't know who this man is.
brand new.
Now you brand new again, man. Well, I'm telling you, boy, this boy ain't nothing, man. Israel nigga, man. He had the spirit on him, man. He had a spirit on him. Brother, you know dang on well you knew who that brother was, man. And you knew he was going to fight up against that man, man. Everybody knew. Hey, we read and we know.
Whole assembly.
The whole assembly knew it, man. Read on now.
And the king said, Inquire thou whose son the stripling is.
Mm-hmm.
And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul said to him, Whoso son thou art? Whose son art thou?
Now he asked David, whose son art thou? Like he don't know who David. Well, I'm telling you, boy. Boy, he wicked, man. These are people that is with a man. You know, I'm tell you something. These spirits right here. You know what? They don't acknowledge greatness, man. They don't acknowledge acknowledge goodness, man. That the Most High set up, man.
Ain't that what you do when you got that nigga spirit on you? When you brother do good, that covenant spirit that you talking about, that's what you do. You act like you didn't even know this brother no more. You just watch him do. You knew him before. Then when he succeeded, I mean, I don't even know that nigga, man. I don't even know that nigga right there.
Mm-hmm.
But you hate. You hate.
You hate that's a hate move, man. Because even verse 55 said when Saul saw David go forth against, he saw him go forth, he watched the fight. Now he don't know who this man is. He told you what he gonna do before the fight. You watched him during the fight. Now you acting like I don't know who he is. These spirits, guess what? But you see the difference in the two spirits. You see that David chose the Most High and put the Most High in front of his battle. He won. He prevailed. Saul kept a nigga spirit, man. A covetous spirit, man. A jealous spirit, man. A vainglorious spirit. Because he didn't want the glory to come off him. He didn't want this man to get no kind of glory. Matter of fact, go to 18. This is the last precept. 18. You know, I go line upon line on mine. Go down to 18. Start at verse 5.
Say, didn't he offer up his daughter?
Yes.
Then he offered his daughter up so that he wanted somebody to go fight this dude. He didn't try to go fight him. He offered up his daughter. Then when the young man stepped up to handle the business, now you don't even know who he is.
Now you don't know who he is. What? I'm telling you, that's a nigga spirit, man.
Nigger spirit.
That's a nigga spirit, man. Read it up.
1 Samuel 18:5. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him.
So because guess what? Saul made him over the army. After David went in and they did that, he made this young man over all the army. Because he just beat this 9'6" man in front of everybody and cut his head off. And all the men were scared back here. This young man came and handled his business, man. Because he put the Most High first, and he knew the Most High, and he knew the Most High was the only true living God, man. That he will fight for us if we put him in front of our battle and not let ourselves go to the forefront because we got this vainglory spirit on us, man. That's why he put them in front of the army, man. Made them over the armies of Israel, man. Read on out.
And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people.
Now, he said Saul put him over the men of war. We put him over all the armies of Israel, man. Read on out.
And also in the sight of Saul's servant.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines.
Now he said after David returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, so after they killed the big bad wolf, they got to go kill the people now. They got to go and take over the land, man.
Right.
Read on.
That the woman came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul.
Now after they seen this, they went out there to go meet King Saul. They were singing and dancing, man. They were happy that the Philistines wasn't oppressing them, man. Because the 40 days they was giving them the business, man.
Right.
Read on.
Singing and dancing to meet King Saul, with tabrets with joy,
and
with instruments of music.
Now they was happy to see King Saul, but watch this, read on.
And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands.
He said Saul slain thousands, man. Read on.
And David his 10,000.
So, but David slain 10,000, man. He said, well, you know, Saul don't like that, boy. He like that. He got that banana in his mouth.
Kind of messy, though.
Yeah, they was messy. They was messy in the mud. Hey, but if it's true, it's true. It's true, it's true, man. Hey, it is what it is, man. He's like a 10, hey, you got 1,000, man. You know,
And Saul was very wroth. And the saying
and Saul was what?
Was very wroth.
And Saul was mad because these women were saying this, man. Read.
And the saying displeased him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000. And to me they have ascribed 1,000. And what can they have more but the king?
Mm-hmm.
And Saul eyed David from that day on and forward.
Now, so Saul had that spirit on him from that day forward, man.
Deuteronomy
54, man. Man is tender among us and very delicate, man.
And his eyes shall be
evil towards his brother, man.
To the brothers in the village, dog.
He is in his business, man. Man, look, with these vainglory spirits, man, don't let that thing take over us, man. Put the Most High in front of your battle. Let the Most High fight that battle in front of you, man. Don't walk around with the vainglory, coveted, envious spirit on you, man. Spirit of jealousy, man. Let these things go, man. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added, man. Matter of fact, go on one more precept. Luke 14 and 11, man. Last precept, man. Last of the last. Luke 14 and 11. Luke 14 and 11. Got a lot. Read it up.
Luke 14 and 11. For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased.
Whosoever exalted himself with a vainglory spirit gonna be abased, man. Read.
And he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
But who that humble themselves, do the work, keep the commandments, the Most High gonna exalt you and put you on high, man. We say keep the law, so we got to bring out a law, man. Every class we bring out a law. Somebody got a law for me? I ain't get the thing. Should have had one, but I didn't have one. We could go with. Let's go with. Matter of fact, while they looking for it, while they looking for the law.
Leviticus 19:17.
Thanks for the ones that's on YouTube. Thanks for joining in tonight. Like, subscribe, share the page, share the page. Comment on the video, man. Those who got questions, our numbers at the bottom of the thing with all the questions of the class or anything that pertaining to this truth. Those who's on Facebook, like and share and subscribe to the page too, man. What law you got?
Book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
He said you should steal, neither deal falsely, or neither lie one to another, man. That's an everyday thing. We should be telling brothers and sisters. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.